Guys, I want to tell you about our friends over at Frost Buddy. It is drinkware engineered to keep your beverages exactly how you want them. Whether you're heading out for an adventure or just powering through your day, Frost Buddy's flagship product, the Universal Buddy, replaces the need for multiple can coolers by fitting virtually every 12-ounce and 16-ounce can bottle you drink, sodas and seltzers to coffee and sparkling water, all in a single versatile design. Constructed with high quality double walled stainless steel and thoughtful features like a flexible silicone lid and a tapered shape that fits most cup holders, Frost Buddy keeps drinks cold for 12 hours and hot for up to 6 hours. So you get consistent temperature control, whether it's an iced drink on a hot afternoon or a hot coffee on the drive to work. Built to last, field tested for durability, and backed by a 30-day return policy, Frost Buddy makes everyday moments from tailgates and beach days to backyard cookouts and commutes more enjoyable. Going over and click the link below and use promo code SSS15 to get 15% off of your first purchase when you visit our friends over at frostbuddy.com. And when you use that promo code SSS15. Are you tired of spending upwards of $7 to $8 on coffees that are full of sugar and high in fat? Well, look no further than Chike Nutrition, the brand redefining what coffee can do for your day. Chike Nutrition combines the rich, familiar taste of real coffee with 20 grams of high-quality protein and the energy of 2 shots of espresso, giving you both fuel and function in every scoop. Available in a variety of crave-worthy flavors like mocha, caramel, vanilla, and many more, Chike delivers smooth, cafe-style iced coffee that mixes instantly with water or your favorite milk, with no clunky blender or complicated prep needed. Each serving is designed to be low in sugar, packed with protein, and loaded with real espresso, so that you can get a sustained energy that helps power your morning, workout, or busy afternoon without the crash that comes from sugary coffee drinks. Whether you're looking for better nutrition in your coffee routine or a smarter way to stay energized and full longer, Chike makes it simple. Scoop, shake, sip, and enjoy. If you want to take advantage of the new year and get in the best shape of your life, click the link below and get yourself 10% off of your first order over at ChikeNutrition.com. Wow. I apologize for the delay. I apologize for the fact that I was late to the scene. But we're jam-packed live atop of a beautiful evening here in central Louisiana. Time here is 8:58. We are live. This is another great episode of the Southern Sports Scene. I'm your host, as always, Lucas Hill. Make sure you all do us a favor. Y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell notifications so that you are notified every time we go live, posting a video or posting a short here on the Southern Sports Scene. As always, we want to thank our good friends and partners over at Frost Buddy. Going over to frostbuddy.com. Use the promo code SSS15 to get 15% off your first purchase. That is code SSS15 to get 15% off of that first purchase. Also, we want to thank our friends at Chike Nutrition. With 20 grams of protein, 1 gram of fat, and 1 gram of sugar, you can get every day started with a healthy, hearty cup of coffee. Why not do it with our good friends over at Chike Nutrition and get your best start to the new year? Well, really midway through the new year. Finish out 2026 on a good note with a healthy, hearty cup of coffee. 1 second. I would say hello right now, but I'm on a live show. Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay. Bye. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Bye. A lot that we have to talk about tonight. Let me just tell you. There's been a lot of development and a lot of crazy things that have happened. First of all, if you did not see it on our Twitter sphere, the reason why I am a little bit late, is primarily because of this. So we did the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge in honor of our good buddy Chris Johnson, who is battling ALS right now, one of the best running backs in NFL history. Our prayers and thoughts are out with him. So,
what's up, guys? Lucas Hill, the Southern Sports Scene here. We're about to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge for our guy Chris Johnson, one of the best and most elusive running backs in NFL history. I'm nominating my guy Jackson Johnson, David Soderkiss, and Scout from Southern Sports Scene. Let's get it.
Ooh. Ooh. That son of a gun was cold. Oh, by the way, we have our first caller of the night. I do have the call-in link in the YouTube and on Twitter, by the way. Let's bring in our first caller of the night. It's Caden the Diesel Freak. The Diesel Freak is in the building. Who else better? What's up, Caden? How are you, man? Diesel Freak.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I unmuted you.
Long time no hear, Lucas Hill.
No kidding. I looked on my phone and I saw that you subscribed to the channel, and I was like, God, dog, I thought he was already subscribed. But hey, better late than never. What's up, man? What's on your mind tonight?
They say better late than never. I can agree with you on that, Lucas Hill, for being one of the best guys here on YouTube. I just did it out of the generosity for the 4th of July weekend, and a special someone has put me in a better mood for the last 6 months. So I think that special person, and that special person is let me just say, I'm getting engaged to here next year. So
you're getting engaged next year, or you're getting married next year?
Engaged.
Okay. Huh.
We've been friends for a long time, since high school, and she finally came.
So you're not even dating this girl right now?
Oh, no, I'm dating this girl. I've been dating her for like a year, but we've been friends since high school.
You're in a very cheerful mood, I would say that. That's a really good thing right now. So we're off to a really good start, Caden. So
let's just say the girlfriend is someone that knows how to keep me in a better mood, especially on my worst days.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What? The girlfriend is the best part of having a relationship with the woman.
Okay.
I mean, come on. I'm lucky enough that we got together a while back, and but it's been really good.
That's great, Caden.
And you know what the funny thing is? I was just telling her about chai coffee, actually, to be fair. She actually
what about chai coffee?
She actually uses some of it in her drinks because she does a lot of her work requires energy, and she likes to work out a lot. So
well, I would recommend go in the link down below and get herself 10% off of a Chai Nutrition bag.
I think she has one already.
Why not get another one? 10% off. Check the description.
I'll tell her just for your sake, Lucas Hill. I'll tell her just for your sake when I see her. I was with her last night, actually, before I called Jackson and Jeffrey.
Okay.
And let's be honest, I enjoy it even after, if I'm in a bad mood or I feel like, put my fist up against someone's face and punching them. But hey, that's what the girlfriend's for. Taking that, relaxing, relaxing the boyfriend who's got a lot of grit in his soul. But that's
so you put your fist in your girlfriend's face?
No, in another man's face, because I have a very short temper.
I know.
Because some people, I meet a lot of dumb people, and they like to be stupid. So
okay.
But my girlfriend, thank you to her, she's like she's just the person that helps me out. So I appreciate her keeping me calm and getting me making me those drinks, because I do appreciate the vitamin drinks that she's been giving me because of my disorder, but also because I have a bipolar disorder.
I gotcha.
She's a study major for nutrition, actually.
Interesting. I've kind of been interested in the nutrition aspect of things.
Well, for being as beautiful as she is and smart as she is, and for her unique career, I guess you could say it comes in handy.
That's amazing. That's good, Caden. That's
What,
very positive
Lucas?
coming from you.
What, Lucas? It comes in handy having a smart girlfriend, but let alone somebody you're gonna marry eventually. Which, for me, that's maybe 2 years I'll marry her, but we'll see.
2
She might
years?
2 years we might get married, a year. I don't know. We're kind of in the books, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day, my friend.
Okay. Interesting.
What, Lucas?
I'm
Life,
not saying anything. I just said
life
okay.
is full of surprises, my friend.
I guess you're right. What's on your mind tonight, Caden?
Oh, what's on my mind? 65 days until the Buckeyes kick it off and return to the national championship. I'm pretty pumped. Ohio State's just getting loaded with more talent and more talent and more talent. And
Yes.
our defense alone has been making a lot better plays, a lot of better stops, being able to counter, certain counter plays, play action, option reads, wildcat screens. Oh, I could tell you how many plays I've seen countered in a good amount of time by that defense, making interception, breaking up passes, forced fumbles, sacks. I mean, that number is only going to increase as far as this season's concerned, and even after this next season, because 2027, 2028, we play Bama both years. And our recruiting class for 27, 28 is looking really well. And for what I hear, 28, we've got Marvin Harrison Jr.'s brother. We got David Harrison, Marvin Harrison's little brother, and then we've got two Ohio State Hall of Famer sons who are going to be graduating in the class of 28. Are both committing to Ohio State on defense. So I mean,
Who?
If you don't know Bobby Carpenter, his oldest son,
who Bobby Carpenter is.
His son is committing, and then AJ Hawk's son is committing to Ohio State.
I know who AJ is too. AJ's married to Brady Quinn's sister.
The same guy he sacked in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Okay. 2006 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Caden, I was 2 years old when it happened, but I do remember. I have watched the game before on YouTube.
I literally was living through the greatest era of Ohio State football. Being born in late 2002, it's...
Oh, you're older than me then.
I lived through the glory days of the Buckeyes. Between Tressel, Meyer, kicking ass, and just raising hell in the horseshoe.
How many national championships did they win, though? They won 2.
2 national titles. I mean, we could have won more titles, but,
Could have. Could have is the big word at the end of the day, though.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, hey, if we had more national titles, I would be just telling Jackson Johnson and them all, it's y'all's fault that we have more titles than y'all. And then guess what? They'd be the ones barking up the wrong tree, as I'd say.
Jackson is watching this, honestly.
Oh, I hope he's listening, because I've told him this maybe once or twice. Imagine if we did win the title, say we won 2002, 2014. We went 06, 07, 08. The 2 wins against Florida, and then LSU. And then 11 and 12 with Tressel Meyer in their last years in 2010.
Wasn't that the year where it was
the tattoo scandal? Yeah.
Tattoo gate, yes. What the hell was that all about?
Oh, it was just a whole bunch of BS where the players were getting tattoos because there was a tattoo parlor in Columbus that gave a discount to the players for tattoos. Because, Ohio State football is a hot commodity around here.
I mean, plus NCAA doesn't like when athletes get free stuff.
Well,
But
I mean, when you're
that
part
was
of the
a
best team in the
conversation for
nation,
way back then, huh?
well, when you're part of the best team in the nation, and if a tattoo shop wants to give out some free tattoos to some guys, let alone a football team, you can't say no. But yeah, we went 06, 07, 08, and then
No,
we went 10,
no, no,
11,
no, no, no,
12.
no, 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 no. Troy Smith year in 2006, and then the very next year with Beanie Wells in that defense in 2007.
7.
That was it. 2008, y'all ished the bed and went what 12-1 or something like that. Y'all got blown out by USC, I think. I don't even remember,
LSU.
to be honest. No. That was that 07 season.
No, it was 09.
07, 08. Let me clarify. 06, 07 was when you got blown out by Florida.
By
You didn't
Tim
make a
Tebow.
national
No.
championship in 2008 and 9.
Well, it was Tim Tebow's squad, which I'm not going to give him, which I still say we should have whooped him. And then, 11 and
Couldn't even
12.
beat a Chris Lake squad. So,
No,
so
it don't
why-
make a difference to me. It was the same school he was committed to. Anyways, 11 and 12. Coach Tressel's last year, between Coach Meyer's first year, went undefeated. That should have been our national title too.
Well,
Then obviously
you screwed yourself with the whole tattoo game, which I wasn't a big fan of it. I mean, looking back on it now, looking at the history of it, it just doesn't make any sense. But it's what's done is done. It's nothing to shoot at anymore. So that's just my opinion. Did we lose Caden?
Oh no, I get what you're saying, Lucas. And then obviously with Urban Meyer, the ones we lost to Clemson twice, and then losing to obviously that was 16 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been 2 more national titles under Urban Meyer.
I guess.
And then Coach Day, obviously, we didn't lose. We would have beat Alabama in that title game in 21. And then we would have beat the Dogs to go beat TCU in 22, 23.
I don't know.
So, I mean, we would have had multiple national titles between 3 more head coaches. So, I mean, I wouldn't complain. But at the same time, everybody would be hating us as the evil superpower of college football, which I wouldn't mind either way.
Right now, that's the state of Texas right now. That's 2 teams that's in Lubbock County and the one that's in Austin right now. That's villains of college football at this point, particularly because of their own circumstances. Because Sarkisian won't shut his mouth most of the time, and then Texas Tech has this whole situation with Sorsby, which they no longer have that. But that's a good thing that the villain is back in college football and very vocal about that. And I think it's very common for a villain to be back in college football. And it's been a while since we've had one. I would say dating back to the Miami years of the 80s, even that first part of the beginning of the century, you never felt like there was a true villain in the sport.
Until Miami stepped up.
In the 80s, I wouldn't consider they had a whole decade that they were the villain. You didn't really necessarily feel that at the start of the century. Nowadays, you don't have one. But this is what makes college football so great is we have these renegades in college football all the time. Caden, you won't be surprised to hear I actually have your Buckeyes winning the national championship this year, but I'll have my full predictions out there by the time we get to, I think, middle of next month or so.
Well, thank you, Lucas Hill, for making the smart decision and putting it into the Ohio State University Buckeyes, unlike some other idiots, but I won't mention their names on this channel.
What does your buddies have?
Oh, besides my buddies that live like personally close to me that I know grew up with, we all have Ohio State going.
Their shows often. I watch them.
Oh, I know, because you'll go over anytime. But me, I particularly focus on just one show and then one other show. And then obviously, debuting on Southern Sports Scene. Hello.
I've been trying to get you on the show for a very long time. I was hoping you'd call in the last month.
Well, with being busy, and then obviously the girlfriend, and I went on vacation with her during the winter, but that was fun.
Okay.
Between work, trucking, and doing stuff, and then obviously the summers being busy. Yeah.
You're a trucker?
Hell yeah. Been doing it since I was 18, son.
You're a freaking country boy, dude. I'm still in school.
This is why I didn't go to college, and I've been trucking since I was 18.
I just like the game of college. I just like college. I like going to be around college football. So
yeah, well,
we got 4 more minutes before I gotta let you go today. Do you have any final thoughts for me before we get this show back rolling?
If everybody can do me a favor, and I'm gonna be nice about this, subscribe to Southern Sports Scene. Click the like button, subscribe. You don't want to miss out. Lucas is a great guy. Follow him, Lucas Hill SEC on Twitter. He posts a lot of good shit. And quite frankly, I can agree with everybody that has said. And to those that disagree with me or feel like I'm the dumbest of the group, that's including Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey, and including the Michigan channel with Johnny Olden, TJ Rowan, and that jackass ginger-headed bastard, John D'Animo.
Okay. Calm it down.
Let me tell you boys this. You can hate my guts, and you don't have to like me. Because every time I come out here and I call you out, you're just proving my point. That every time you say I'm dumb or I'm delusional or I'm stupid or I make some stupid comments, well, I can back it up sometimes on here. And heck, I even won a bet last year against a good friend of Jackson Johnson's, and I finally beat TJ Rowan in the bet in the rivalry bet that we were going to beat him by double digits. So hate me all you want, boys, but I'm going to be around for a little while, and I plan on being on here. And I promise you, Caden the Diesel Freak, it ain't going nowhere.
Thank you, Caden.
And I'll tell you what, to be quite honest, I have to give a shout out to the sweetheart, my fiance, for obviously helping me with my diet nutrition plan and also a lot of the extra perks at the wintertime. And, well,
she needs to help get you off them freaking root beers and that Mountain Dew.
She does. She's coming back later here in a little bit. So I'm actually waiting on her to get back here to my place here. Here outside of town. So I'm waiting on her from her spot. She was doing some photo shoots with Victoria's Secret, so I'm waiting on her to get back. What?
Thank you.
I got a beautiful girlfriend, Lucas. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, what am I supposed to say, dude?
Okay.
If the girl can get a good deal and Victoria's Secret can get her a little contract side job, I mean, what am I supposed to say? I'm proud of the lady. If she can do nutrition, fitness, but also look good, I mean, hey, I got a triple win right there, Lucas Hill. Don't feel jealous, but dude, you know what? I'm gonna say this as somebody with a little bit of experience in the dating game.
You have no experience in the dating game, though.
Let me just tell you this, Lucas. I
was with a girl for 4.5 years. Okay.
Listen, I wasn't much of a lady person in the first place. I wasn't much a lady man. But then after I talked with a friend of mine good buddy of mine who works with me, was like, you need to crack your shell and be yourself. I was like, you know what, dude? Screw it. And then obviously my high school crush and I finally got together, and then here we are. And I mean, it's been wonderful. And I mean, I can say, find yourself a woman that at least is a good looker has at least some good features and knows how to wear outfits really well, especially bikinis. My lady, oh my God, Lucas. You wouldn't believe how many times I seen like them bikinis on her. I mean, I tell you what, Lucas Hill, man, does my heart race faster than my truck. Oh my God, brother. Oh my God. Woo. That's why I love a sweetheart. Woo. Shout out to my sweetheart. And as always, go Bucks. And that's the bottom line. Because the diesel freak is rolling. And that's all he's got to say about that, son. Later, boys. Woohoo!
Thank you, Cam. That was the diesel freak. That's the diesel freak for you. He's something else, man. I will be honest with you. That dude is something else. So that's Caden for you, man. If you are if you've been a viewer before, I think he has appeared on the show. I'm not quite sure, but I don't know. Oh my God. Okay, Caden. Goodbye. Goodbye, Caden. Goodbye, Caden. You can leave. I appreciate the comments. Anyways, that was interesting. A lot to talk about tonight. Hey, listen. Like Caden said, like, share, subscribe if you're watching us down below. Bryce Underwood did a youth camp not too earlier this week, and he says that he is the best player to come out of Michigan.
I want to prove to myself that I am what I think I am. That's really it.
And what do you think you are at this stage?
I feel like I'm the best player to ever come out of Michigan. Now it's time for me to show that.
Why do you think that?
Because I worked for it.
Are you working harder now, you think, with this staff?
I'm working smarter than I was last year. So just blessed for the season to come out.
So I find it interesting he says that because it is a bold statement. Make no mistake about it. I do believe that he is a very talented player. I think that there has been a lot of amazing players that have come out of the state of Michigan. No question about it. I think he's probably the most hyped. I think he's got the most talent out of all of them. But is it worth him going out there? And he's been doing this a lot lately. And there's been a lot of former Michigan guys like Devin Gardner and Jake Butt that have made comments about this. I really don't know what to necessarily take of this, but he has got to prove it. This is probably the most critical year that he has had so far in his collegiate years. Straight up. So, listen, when we have these types of conversations about these types of quarterbacks, listen, Bryce has a lot of expectations at the end of the day. But it is a bold statement early on to say he is the best to come out of the state of Michigan. No question about it. But here's the thing. What was his stat line last year? He certainly didn't prove that he was a great quarterback. Part of which is because of how this offense was run this past year. Was he turnover prone? Yes. Did he struggle at times when it came to him running the football? Or really when it came to him throwing the football at times? Yes. Did he struggle in big games? Yes, most definitely. The Ohio State game is a great example. I thought that he struggled when it came to reading a defense against a team like Texas. I thought he struggled in that department. He has got, he has got to find a way to improve his accuracy He's got to find a way to be more consistent. Beginning of the year, he looks great. Apart from the Oklahoma game, it seemed he was very methodical throwing the football. Against teams like Washington, he looked pretty good. USC, he looked pretty good at times. Wisconsin has a fantastic defense, as we all know, in the Big Ten. But you look at games like Oklahoma, you look at the Michigan State game, he wasn't efficient. He's got to show up in big games when it matters. Guys, this was some of his completion percentage: 37.5%, 54.5%, 7%, 44%, 54%. He's got to be more consistent. We cannot put stock in a guy like him if we have the same issues as he did this past year. Obviously, the Chip Lindsey is going to have a balanced offense. There's no doubt about it. But you have to understand, this dude was a freshman this past year. He didn't turn 18 in August. He was an 18-year-old quarterback. Fantastic football player. But, guys, he's got to be better, especially when it comes to the turnovers. And quite honestly, he's got to be better overall when it comes to being a football player, knowing the game of football. Fantastic. He's got all these great intangibles. He can read a defense really well. He can run the football if he has an opportunity to. The problem is, it's that he's just not consistent. Consistent all last year. That Oklahoma's game is going to tell us a lot about where Michigan is as a program right now. What does Jason Beck bring to his arsenal, quarterbacks coach? This is somebody that is paired along really nicely with Bryce. You look at Von Dampier for 2 seasons in 2020-25. Dampier, arguably the best quarterback, arguably made a huge leap from where he was in 2024 and 2025. I think, because I think Utah was because they were 5-7. I'm trying to see if that's it. I don't think it was. Actually, I might have been wrong, because I don't think Dampier even came in 2024. I could be wrong. Yeah, he was at New Mexico in 2024, so that's my mistake. But anyways, I mean, you look at the leap from where he was from 2024. Dampier was throwing the football a lot, had a 57.5% completion percentage, 12-12 touchdown to interception ratio, ran for over 10 yards. I think with what he's bringing with Bryce, when he comes to a team like this that have an offensive line, middle of the pack when it comes to receiving rooms in but we have got to find a way for this ceiling for this kid, in my opinion. He's got to prove it. He's got to prove that he really is the best quarterback to come out of the state of Michigan. Really, he says the best player, I should say. It's way too early to say that, because last year didn't prove it. Does it help that he had a horrible coaching staff around him? No. What does he bring this year with the roster that is around him? He has arguably the best freshman running back in college football in Savion Hyder, who I think will flash this year as a running back. I expect him a 1,000-yard back this year, and I think he's going to dominate defenses. Dominate this year. It's a young roster that I think can really secures or can really establish themselves in the line of scrimmage. Michigan is in a really good position to win 10 games this year. Make no mistake about that. But they have got to prove it on the field. Michigan's going to be really good this year. I'm telling you they are. Make no mistake about it. Though, man. But Kyle Whittingham has loaded up in the offseason. You look at what they did from an offensive standpoint in the transfer portal. They got a lot of those guys that, came who are on the offensive side of the football, and you see what they brought. When you bring guys like J.J. Buchanan, who, in my opinion, is arguably the most dominant tight end, who's probably going to convert to wide receiver this year. I think he's going to be really, really good this year. I think that he's one of those guys that just finds the football every time that you target him. He is going to be nasty in the trenches. I think it's a massive weapon that you need. And we've seen how good tight ends have been for Michigan in years past, dating back to Colson Loveland and many other tight ends that have come out of Michigan in years past. It's going to be good. Make no mistake about it. J.J. Buchanan is going to be a leader in that tight end, in that entire as well. I think that's probably the key from the offensive side of the ball. You bought in Jamie French Jr. from Texas, who top five wide receiver this past season, or top five wide receiver in the class of 25. Didn't play much, but I do believe that he's going to prove to be a capable tight end at the end of the day, just with the talent that he has. Speed is his biggest thing. So we'll see, man. I do think that the rebound phase for Michigan this year is going to be much better. The fact that they were hurt a lot this past year, that played a big role into why they struggled sometimes in big situations and why they went to the ground game a lot. I think Michigan is going to continue to develop. I think Bryce has a much better season. I do expect kind of a Devon Dampier type of bump that he has. Struggled with turnovers this past year. I think those get limited a good bit. I think they're going to let him rip the football down the field some, give him some opportunities to be a drop back passer, let him be mobile at times, but this is a guy that's going to be a pass first type of situation in this Jason Beck offense. I expect him to crack the 3,000-yard mark this year when it comes to throwing the football. I think he's probably going to be one of the more improved quarterbacks in the Big Ten this year. Michigan is probably going to win 9 games again this year. They'll be in contention to win 10. I think they barely missed out on the playoff, but this is going to be a position and is going to build for the future compared to where they were last year with Sharon Moore as your head coach. Because this time this year, even with them winning 9 games last year, I was hearing rumors that Sharon Moore was going to be on the hot seat block if things did not improve in 2026. That obviously gets put to bed with the whole situation with his personal assistant and the circumstances that occurred right afterwards. Now we're looking at a Michigan team with a fresh face, a fresh play caller, and a legitimate quarterbacks coach. Lindsey isn't a QB coach. Does not know a quarterback. Why? Because majority of offenses, despite them being top 50 most of the years in total offense, you know where most of that majority of those yards come from? Certainly doesn't come through the air. It comes from the ground game. Chip Lindsey really kind of destroyed that offense this past year. That's my opinion. Go look at what he did in 2022 with UCF. Go look at what those Auburn offenses look like in 2017 and 18. Matter of fact, go back to 2015 whenever Southern Miss was running the football a lot. A lot. They were one of the best rushing offenses in the Sun Belt back-to-back years. Where were they in the passing situation? Nowhere. Nowhere to be found. So they're going to have some growing pains. And I've heard some people say that they're a lot more optimistic about the offense than the defense. Obviously, they worry about not having the most talent. Let me just tell you, from a defense perspective, I don't have to worry. I can still bring back some elite defenders on that side of the ball. Brought in John Bailey, who was the big edge rusher this year. Look, he's going to be good. So there's been a lot of buzz surrounding him. The program does believe that he has the talent and the development at the end of the day to be a really, really good quarterback. He has a lot of moxie and swagger than he did this past year. Obviously not because he's a freshman, but this year feels different because of the offensive mastermind that Jason Beck has been. So Witt said this about him: it's important we get him playing to his potential, and he's got a ton of it. I can tell you right now his toolbox is absolutely incredible with his size and strength and speed. We've got to make sure we get him dialed in. If they don't have him dialed in, look, who knows? I don't think they're doing their job right now with him going out to the media saying stuff like this. But listen, that's confidence. It's fine. It's not a bad thing. But anyways, he's a great leader. He's a guy that's the hardest worker in the weight room. He's always setting the bar and making everyone live up to that expectations. He's going to be really, really good, man. So the foundation is set for him being a good quarterback. Can what the offseason brought for him and the training follow in 2026? We will see then. All right. We have a lot. We still have some stuff to talk about. I want to move over to another mobile quarterback, and I want to talk about what Texas A&M could bring in 2026. And look, I think this team is going to be fantastic this year. I think that they have a lot of top-end talent. Right now, I think there is a new standard that is being set at Texas A&M. They broke past the era of not being able to get over the hump in the Jimbo Fisher and Kevin Sumlin era. Now Mike Elko in his third year, but just lost his offensive coordinator in Colin Klein. Defensively, you brought in a new face. Jay Bateman is now over at Kentucky as the defensive coordinator. Bateman was solid, man, but I don't believe that he was the primary play caller at the end of the year. I think that was more of an Elko thing. But yeah, man, I know that he was phenomenal at times. I know that he is going to leave a big hole in that A&M defensive, the front, or in that A&M group. You also lose a guy like Colin Klein, who is now the head coach over at Kansas State. Let's see what he can do at his alma mater as he returns to K-State for the first time since 2023. He was there from 2017 to 2023 as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. But Texas A&M is going to lose some massive, massive starters, guys. Your entire offensive line is gone. Demetrius Crownover, Armaj Reed-Adams is gone. One of the best centers in college football is gone in Trey Zune. You lose Chase Bissanis. Casey Concepcion, your number one receiver, is here. Nate Borker is gone. It's a lot that you now face into the year. sucks. It's not fun that you're going to have to replace somebody like that, knowing the type of talent that they brought to the table this past year. Not only that, you lose your top edge rusher in Cassius Howell, who was an SEC Defensive Player of the Year this past year. I wish he was an All-American as well. Tyler Onyedum, who was a dominant interior guy. Albert Regis was a guy that was always just seemed to be in College Station forever. And then Will Lee, who came from who came from Kansas State in 2023. He is now no longer with them. He's in the NFL. So what does 2026 bring? Holloman Wiggins is now the full-time offensive play caller, was the co-OC under Colin Klein for quite some time. But Marcel Reed returns for his what could be, I believe, his final year of eligibility. I think that he does enter the NFL draft. Saw a lot of good, saw a lot of some not so good in 2025. The biggest thing, though, man, in my opinion, what separated him from the rest of the SEC is how quickly he got outside the pocket. And it was impressive, to say the least. But there was a lot of times that Notre Dame's defense kind of let them down at times during the season. You look at games like South Carolina, like Arkansas, Notre Dame, especially early on in the season when things needed to change. And there were games where, from an offensive standpoint, their offensive line got hammered against the elite D lines. None better than that Miami game last year. Marcel Reed can't even get mobile because he's got sacked 7 times this past year. The entire regular season, look, that was a great O-line. It's a Jacob. You have Jacobs blocking award winners. He was only sacked 10 times in the regular season. He got sacked 7 times in the playoff game. You cannot go into a playoff game where your offensive line is getting their ass handed to against the elite D-lines. They didn't play a really elite D-line this year. You could say Auburn was great. Yes, they were. Texas got after him a little bit at times, but he was still able to get out of the pocket. That Miami game, when you play against fantastic edge rushers that end up being first-round picks in Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, guess what? The will be stacked against you significantly. And now you have to replace that entire offensive line. But Mike Elko is very confident about the success that this team could have in 2026. It's been a very long time since Texas A&M had back-to-back 10-win seasons. It's been 30 years. So he says that I think we've had a unique opportunity to double down on success. We have found ways at times over the years to hit one-year peaks. The next step for us is consistently being a top 10 team, consistently being a playoff team, and consistently being a team that finishes and gets to Atlanta. Marcel Reed did have some struggles down the stretch in the season. He had some really bad turnovers that killed him. LSU game where he has 2 picks early on in the football game. If LSU doesn't have the offense that they did this past year and the offensive line that was horrible this past season, they're probably winning that football game at home. And I don't care what you may say about it being a 49-25 football game. I don't believe that they still would have won, just being straight up with you. It's either that or it would have been a lot closer than a 24-point win. That South Carolina game, that first half, Marcel Reed played horrible. It wasn't until they started throwing the football down the field and South Carolina got conservative on the offensive and defensive side of the ball that it ended up hurting them. The Texas game, 2 costly turnovers that lead to turnovers. 2 a costly one at the game that wins the football game for Miami is the big difference in that one. So Texas A&M has to find their rhythm from an offensive standpoint. I think that there is a lot that has to change from an offensive standpoint. You return arguably one of the best receivers in the SEC, however, in Mario Craver. I was a big fan of Mario Craver. I thought at times he was better than Casey Concepcion. I think the biggest thing that's going to knock him, though, is his height at 5'9", 165 pounds. Unfortunately, that's been the knock of a lot of fantastic football players at the end of the year. I'm still waiting on Terry Bussey to break out. I know it's been 2 years, and he's been a fantastic kick returner. Man, this has to be the season where we see Terry Bussey. This has to be the year where I've been calling it for about 2 years now. Terry Bussey has got to freaking ball this year, and I think he will ball. He's a fantastic football player that has all of the freaking talent in the world. You have a receiving room that is deep. Mario Craver, Ashton Bethel-Roman, who had a phenomenal season last year. And then obviously Terry Bussey. I think those are your top 3 right now. With Craver playing the slot as your speed guy, I would expect Ashton Bethel-Roman to play that X, and then Terry Bussey would be your Z. Those are 3 receivers that can easily get 500 or 600 yards in a season with Marcel Reed throwing them the football. The thing about Marcel Reed that people have been knocking him on is that he's a running back that's playing the quarterback position. And I don't know that is him, but he's got to show up in big games. You could say the LSU game was a big one for them, but honestly, I don't think it was. Because we saw how bad LSU was overall this past season, especially from an offensive perspective. Would like to see a little bit more and a little bit consistency out of this team. But man, this schedule is freaking brutal. This is much, much tougher than you think. At LSU, Arkansas, or not really, that's not really. You get to October 24th to November 21st, or really November 27th. Guys, I'm struggling to see a scenario where Texas A&M returns to the college football playoff. At LSU, September 26th, at Alabama, at Williams-Bryce at South Carolina, Tennessee, at Oklahoma, and then Texas. And guys, I think they should handle business against Bama. We'll see what happens against South Carolina. I think they'll handle business against Tennessee. Oklahoma and Texas are my 2 games where I'm very concerned about. I think 9-3 is reachable, but man, November's just brutal, dude. It's not easy. It's really not. So we'll see what happens. Your rushing game will be much better. Reuben Owens is fully healthy this year, which is a massive, massive understatement if you are an Aggie fan. Because, look, you needed him down the stretch in 2024. Caused him to miss almost the entire season. And then last year averaged over 5 yards a carry, splitting the ball with a guy like Le'Veon Moss. Defensively, man, this top 4, this front 7 is gonna take a big step back. Cassius Howe, like I mentioned, is gone. Let's see what happens in Marco Jones, the sophomore, who had 2.5 sacks this past season in his freshman campaign. Anto Saka, who is the transfer coming in from Northwestern. He showed some promise this past year, spent 5 years this past season. he actually was projected to be a first-round draft pick after the 25 season, but he's got to be more active in the run game. I do think that he has the size and the speed to be an elite edge rusher at the next level, but it's still yet to be determined. So we'll see, man. I think a lot of great things are going to happen at the end of the day. You bring in Isaiah Horton from Alabama, who's going to be a phenomenal football player. I think he's got all of the talent in the world to be the most dangerous receiver in college football. I think really the biggest one, though, that is going to have the most question marks is obviously the front five for Alabama, or really the front seven, the line of scrimmage on both sides. Excuse me. Wilkin Formby has had some promise, didn't play a whole lot in 2000, or really didn't play a whole lot in 2025 for Alabama. He looks to step into a starting role. He's one of the best pass blockers in college football. Thought he had some really good reps on that side of the football. Ian Sanford has been a guy that has been with Texas A&M for a very long time. I really like him. I think he had a phenomenal breakout year in 2025, 57 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and an interception. You look at other guys like Sam Mpemba, who played at Georgia this past 2 years ago, is now part of that A&M defensive line. Didn't get a whole lot of playing time. I expect him to step into a bigger role this season. The back seven is going to be, or really the secondary is going to be the strength of this team. You brought in Ray Coney, who was 10th in the nation in tackles. So I think they'll be really good this year. I think that with Des Ricks, you brought in Dalton Brooks as well. Marcus Ratcliffe is going to be one of the best safeties in college football in the SEC. Phenomenal athlete, and really excited to see what he brings to the table as a safety. But I think overall, with the schedule that this team has, it's going to be a struggle to get back to the college football playoff. I have Texas A&M going 8-4, 9-3 this year. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. What do you have Texas A&M going for 2026? Guys, thank you once again for hopping on inside the Southern sports scene. I apologize for the late start. Thank you all for watching. We will see you all very soon. Y'all